Hello, my name is Joe Kerins, Certified College Planning Specialist and Lead Planner with Elite Collegiate Planning and Paradigm Financial Group. Today I wanted to do a quick video on some of the common mistakes that I see families make when they're filing the FAFSA. The FAFSA, number one, is people don't file it early enough. That is probably one of the biggest mistakes, or they don't file it at all. If you are a senior or going into your senior year, the FAFSA, right, it opens October 1st of your senior year. So for students right now who are juniors that will be graduating in 2021, this coming October, so October of 20 is when you're going to file the FAFSA, okay? That's probably one of the biggest mistakes, is that people either don't file it at all or they file it late. You want to get that in early because a lot of schools give out their money based on a first come, first served basis, okay? So you need to make sure that you get that done. And a lot of schools have moved to basically making it a requirement that you file the FAFSA. Now, some schools won't even offer you merit-based money unless you file that FAFSA form. So in order to receive any money from the schools, which may help bring that cost down to something that may be more affordable, you have to file the FAFSA. So make sure you file it, and just make sure you file it early enough. Another piece is being accurate. And so some of the common mistakes I see when people filling out the forms, unfortunately, I've seen mistakes when it comes to Social Security numbers. You need to make sure that Social Security numbers line up on the application for the school and on the FAFSA. If they don't, the school's not going to basically think that you didn't file one of the two papers. So you need to make sure that that happens. Probably the biggest mistake that I see that impacts EFC the most is that parents include their retirement assets on the FAFSA. You are not required to disclose any of your money that is in a 401k, a 403b, an IRA, a Roth IRA, a 457, or a pension. You do not have to disclose that. So do not include that in your total assets. When you read that question, they do not want to know what is in your retirement, just what you have in other categories like 529, savings, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. That's one of the big pieces. Another thing to add to that, when I talk about 529s, the biggest mistake I see when families have those is that they list the 529s as an asset of the student. The 529 has an owner, and the owner is typically the parents or maybe even grandparents. But on the FAFSA, the 529s are a parental asset with the beneficiary being the students. Okay, so make sure that you do not put 529s as an asset of the student, because it's going to affect you much more than if it's an asset of the parents. Lastly, a big mistake it can be simple, but it can also be confusing when they ask about the number of people in your household and the number of people currently attending college. So again, when you fill out that, you need to understand that members of the household are you, yourself, your spouse, if you live with someone, all right? If you're married, then your spouse, and all of your kids. And then if you do have someone that you are caring for, if you're taking 50% of their financial responsibility. So even if you have kids that have graduated but are currently living with you, if you have kids that are out of college, they still count as members of the household. For people that are in school, right, it is the following year, how many kids are you going to have in school? So if you have a couple children that are maybe 2 years apart, right? For the first 2 years, you're only going to have one student in school. But for the following two, you need to make sure that you might say, well, I have myself, I have my wife, I have 3 kids. I'll have 2 kids in school at the same time. So my household is 5 people. When my oldest is in school, it'll be 1. When I have 2 in school, you make sure that you have, and you make sure that the colleges know you have 2 members of that household in school. Parents cannot basically say that they're going to college. That doesn't work. That's excluded from the financial aid formula. So it's only dependents, it's only kids. Of how many children do you have that are going to school? Those are some of the big mistakes I typically see on the FAFSA. And again, they can really blow up your EFC and really disqualify you from potential financial aid that you could have gotten. So make sure that you study this or talk to a professional. You need to make sure that the FAFSA is correct and done accurately and on time, so that you're maximizing the amount of financial aid that you can get, which again brings the cost of college to a more affordable level. If you like this video, please make sure you like and subscribe. My name is Joe Kerins, Certified College Planning Specialist, and I hope to see you soon.